Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and today I'm hopping along with the Card Hoppin group from Handmade Happiness. Our theme this month is friendship, and the challenge is either to use the brayer by itself or the gel plate and brayer together. And of course, I chose the gel plate and the brayer together. I'm making 3 cards today. And about the hop, the next person in the lineup will be listed downstairs, and we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Here we are. Everything is sped up like 3 times because I wanted to fit it all in. But I have my little 5x7 gel press, and I'm just using a rainbow of colors and just putting them on the diagonal. I don't know the exact colors I use. I usually don't. I just grab. And again, putting them on the diagonal, spreading them out just a little bit with the brayer so that they'll mix and blend, but not too much. So again, Roy G. Biv across the whole gel plate, and then I have my Grunge Dot stencil from A Colorful Life, and I'm putting down, I believe it is the rose gold mixative, and then a little bit of the blending solution, and then I brayer all that out over the top of the stencil, and then I lift the stencil, and you can see that it got a little juicy and it bled underneath, but that doesn't bother me a bit. I love the unpredictableness of this whole process. You can be a little more careful so that yours doesn't bleed. But for me, I like the grunginess, and I'm just using some gel medium as my pulling agent, if you will, and just putting my cardstock down on that and pushing and pushing, making sure I get good contact so that I'll get a good pull. And there it is. Oh my goodness, I'm in love with that. And again, I like that grunginess, that messiness, the blotches. That's totally me. So again, if you don't want that, you just be a little more careful with laying down your medium. You want to make sure your stencil is completely adhered so that there's no space between the stencil and the gel plate, and you won't have that bleeding. So I have stamped out these sweet little bunny images from Honeybee. I will try to remember to have the name of the stamp set listed down below, but you can see that I'm just coloring them up with my Arteza Everblends. Now I have the full set, the 120 set of the Everblends, as well as the set of skin tones and the gray tones. So I didn't realize how much of those 2 sets that I used, but these bunnies were colored up all from that. All of the markers that I used were from the gray tones and the skin tones. So very versatile sets, very much a staple in my stash. Now you can see that these 2 bunnies are colored up a little more intensely than the top 2 bunnies. They're a little more pastel-y, and that'll make sense as we go. So I knew that I wanted 3 prints, so I'm using the stencil and I'm just spraying it with alcohol, just regular old alcohol, and I'm using my brayer and my fingers to pull up that ink. So you see I got the rainbow side, now I'm getting the alloy side or the mixative side, I can't remember which it was. But just spraying it with the alcohol again, using the brayer to pull up that beautiful color and that pattern, and I'm using it in my art journal because I also want whatever's left to leave that impression on my art journal, and that's why I'm going back and forth and brayering it there as well. So now that I have 3 prints, that big bold one is staying just the way it is. These 2, I'll call them prints as well, the ones that I used alcohol to pull. I'm using beautiful stencils. This is I believe it's the Rainbow Lattice from A Colorful Life, and I'm using my Crackle medium from Ranger. I'm in love with this. I can't stand it. I love it so much. And I can't remember the name of this stencil. I want to call it the Grunge Harlequin, but I'm not sure that that's correct. But it is from A Colorful Life, and again, I'm just going kind of randomly with that paste, and I love it. I set those aside to dry, and I run to the sink to clean off that gel paste because it will stick and it has the potential to ruin your stencil, so you want to move fast and get those cleaned off. A lot of people will just leave a bucket of water in their craft space. I don't have room for that, so, but I understand how wonderful that would be to have that. So I have taken a bunch of different dies from my stash and just kind of figured out what I wanted on each card, and then I just took it over to my Big Shot and I die cut everything out. So those trees are from Penny Black, and I knew that I wanted to create a scene. Like I have this lattice stencil. I wanted that to be, or lattice cloud stencil, of course, I wanted that to be a sky. And then, so creating my scene with the hills, and I snipped off the trees. You know, make your dies work for you, guys. So if it doesn't work for you just the way it is, snip it up, cut it up, piece it together. I did the same thing with this little fence. It is from Lawn Fawn, and I just snipped it so that it could make my little fancy garden scene. And that little fancy gate, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. You know, it always happens. That's from Impression Obsession. And then I put that sweet bunny down, and that was one of the ones that was colored more deeply. And that, of course, is because that background is a little more pale, a little more subdued, and I wanted that bunny to pop. Now this one, this is that bright, bold background, so I knew that I wanted the lighter bunnies so that, again, there's that contrast. The contrast of the lighter bunnies juxtaposed, well, maybe juxtaposed isn't the right word, but paired with that darker, bolder background, which I am so in love with. Like, I could look at that, and then the shine from that mixative, oh my gosh. And then this is my third card. And again, when I'm talking about make your dies work for you, that's a Merry Christmas wreath die, right? I don't want Merry Christmas. I mean, it's May. I don't want Merry Christmas right now. I'm not working on any Christmas cards. But I just snip it out. I just snip out those words, and you can save them for later. You can use them for another time. You can use them just to build some dimension on another card. Because when you cut it out, they do look a little weird from where they were attached to the die. But now I have 2 of the wreath dies, and I can layer them and add some more dimension to my card. So I knew that on this one, this is the one that was just the mixative, and then the Harlequin stencil with that beautiful crackle paste. I wanted some color on top of that crackle paste, so I pulled out my tea dye, which is very much in that same family, and I just used various techniques. You saw me using the brayer. I went direct to paper on the edges, and then I did a little smushing, and you can see I've done some splatters with some sprays. And to be honest, when I did the splatters with the sprays, I just thought, oh my gosh, I ruined this beautiful background. But I didn't give up. I said, keep going, keep going. I made myself keep going. And then I started putting it all together. This second little wreath, it was so tedious, but I put little pops of foam tape on the back of many of the leaves. I didn't do it through the whole thing, but I just wanted that dimension. Not just the layer, but I wanted the dimension. So I bit the bullet and I did it. And would I do it again? You know I will. So when I put the second wreath down, I just turned it just a little bit so that the leaves wouldn't be right on top of each other. But there's, again, that dimension and that differentiation. So here's that other bunny, and this is one that's colored again a little more intensely. The colors are deeper and richer so that there's that contrast with that background. But I have to tell you, even though I thought this one was ruined when I did the splatters, everyone at work, this is their favorite. Everyone wants this one. So here I'm adding a little bit of stickle detail. I believe this was the crystal. It may have been the unicorn, but I believe it's the crystal stickles. And I put it on the heart, and then the ears of all of them. They all got sparkly ears and their little bunny tails. And I think they're adorable. Guys, you can see them right there. Do you have a favorite? Let me know downstairs if you have a favorite of these 3 cards. Then I decided, you know what, I need one more little element, so I pulled out some hearts. Because they're friendship, they're love, right? So these little red clay hearts that I'm putting on this particular card, the red clay is from Honeybee, and the clear acrylic, I believe they're Studio Katya. So, oh my gosh, how adorable is that? And this one, I didn't want to take away from the design at all because that background is the star of the show. The bunnies are sweet, the sentiment's fantastic, juxtaposed, they're, amazing together. But I just wanted just a little bit of extra, and those little clear embellies did the trick. And I did not put any on the other one because he was already holding that sweet heart. So cute, cute, cute. You can see that texture in the crackle paste. You can see it in this one too. So much going on in that background, but I love it. And the crystal stickles on that heart was just cute, cute, cute. I'm in love with these guys. I really am. And it just started out from that jelly press pull. And then here we go, 3 different cards from essentially one inking of the gel press. So 3 different cards, 3 distinctively different backgrounds. The sky's the limit, guys. I mean, creativity is yours. Just run with it. Again, guys, I'm Nancy, the Handy Scandy. I'm with the Card Hoppin group from Handmade Happiness. Our theme this month is friendship. The challenge was to use a gel plate and a brayer, or just the brayer, and you know what my choice was. The next participant in the lineup will be listed downstairs. I hope that you would hop on over and give them some love and see what kind of wonderful creativity they're sharing with us today. This is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for watching. I'm out.